Brentford 3, Man United 1. Is it a surprise anymore? It's becoming a common theme that every time we play, we win one game, we have to lose the other game. It's just ridiculous. You can't even say anything about it. This is a serious problem with the mentality of this team. I think there are players within this team that until they leave the club, we will never be able to be consistent. Some players who have been in the club for so long, but their inconsistency risks. You just look at them and they can't be inconsistent from one game to the next. Even with 1 week rest in between, they still have the same poor performances. It's just so disappointing. I couldn't. I watched that game. For Man United fans, it was a hard watch, especially the manner in which we concede some goals. Just two balls over the top, and our defenders can't deal with the balls. It's so bad. Look at a player like Maguire. Maguire is not a Man United level player. He might have had a resurgence, but he's not a player that should be playing for Man United, because if you're playing for a big team, then you'll have to deal with a high line, and he can't deal with a high line. Every time we play a high line, Maguire won't be able to deal with it. He will be targeted. They targeted Maguire knowing that if you put a ball inside over the top and you put a Maguire to a race, he won't be there. The first goal, what was he trying? He tried to set up an offside trap, but it was too late. He can't react. He has that fear. He always goes back. He keeps people onside. In fact, even the second goal, there was a point where the whole line was putting the offside line, but he was inside, because he's also always afraid of the high line. He's always afraid that he's going to be caught out. He knows he doesn't have the pace. You look at this game, and starting Maguire seems to have been a big mistake, because he can't deal with a high line. Brentford have no other way to play. They just hold the ball, then either with the set piece or the throw-ins or one ball over the top. And how many balls over the top were a problem for us? You start Delete and Maguire, and none of them have the pace to recover. Delete is a bit better, but Maguire, oh God. It was just a sorry sight to see him try to recover the ball once his offside trap didn't work. There was no way he was going to come back and get that ball back. You look at the state of binding. This experiment by Ruben Amorim has failed. The fact that we had laments and we could have tried him in the game against City, then tried him against Chelsea, then tried him against this game, probably could have been used games by now. We keep thinking that Bainde will save us. Okay, Bainde should start, but Bainde is not good enough. He's not a level of keeper that will be able to get us to Europe. If we play Bainde, it's almost a guarantee that we won't be in Europe, because that guy makes a mistake or two per game. In a game that he doesn't make a mistake, like the Chelsea game, he wasn't tested enough. In fact, Chelsea only had one shot, or I think two shots on target. So he got away with one, and they scored one. So you look at this state of this goalkeeper. Ruben Amorim, in trying to do favors to the goalkeepers instead of starting. If Bainde was indeed bought to try and become the next goalkeeper, he should be put in. De Gea was the same happened to De Gea, and De Gea had some few errors in the beginning, but he became the one of the best goalkeepers in Man United history. So you just have to try him. We don't have to wait until the mistakes. You look at the second goal, he should have done better. The way he tried to save the second ball, it was just a bad save. You look at the game against the third goal, he just went through the middle. It might have been sweet, a true hit, but he wasn't in position. He wasn't in a good position, and he could have stopped that ball easily. Even if he was in a good position, you are never confident that he's going to stop a ball. It's just a sad state of affairs, because there are going to be players. I looked at that team, and I did agree there are 5 players that shouldn't be Man United players. Bainde should be a Man United player. Maguire, Shaw, Ugarte, and Dalot. Those players should not be Man United players at all, because they offer nothing. They are so inconsistent. You look at Dalot, the first goal, a simple pass, he couldn't make a simple pass. It goes back to become a counter, and they score from that. A opportunity where we were going to score. A good pass, and we have a chance at goal and probably score, and we are 1-0, and then we end up having to lose the game. It becomes a goal against us from a very promising attacking position, a simple pass that a professional should be able to make, Dalot still can't make simple passes. He still can't make decisions in the final third. You look at the first goal, the kind of decision, the kind of goals we are conceding very easy goals. If I look at the ratings that I give some of these players, by Indy, I'm even generous to give him a 2/10. Because what is his job? He might have done some saves, but if he is going to make 2 mistakes and then make 3 saves, what's the point? You can't always be expected to score 3 goals to win a game. Some games you need to win 1-0, some games you need to draw. But how can you do it if at all you are getting so many chances against you that some of the easy chances you can't save? Delhi also was capable for the second goal. I don't know what he was doing. He was on the wrong side of the attacker. The ball came in. He was on the wrong side of the attacker. The ball was put in. It was a cutback, a simple cutback. 4 defenders. None of them was aware. None of them was getting back quick enough to take on the rebound, and their striker just had a simple tap in. It's just unbelievable. This team, you wait for 1 week, you want to watch a game, you want to enjoy a game, and you can't even enjoy a game in the manner in which they are playing. I think if I'm going to be doing the ratings, I think Bindi is a 2/10. Delete is a 3/10. The whole defense, Maguire also, the first goal, the man in which the ease at which Brentford scored that goal is a 2/10. You look at Shaw, there was nothing he offered the whole game. Every time you want the bravery, you want some impact in the game, but you can't feel like he offers anything. Dogu was another one. Dogu, in terms of he gets in promising positions, but all he's looking for are fouls. What are fouls going to help you with? Because any of the fouls that we put in, we weren't being a threat. There was one of those opportunities, he got to the ball, he chested it, and then he decided to look for a foul instead of just going and trying to look for Sesko. Sesko showed that he can score the goals if the balls are provided for him. If chaos is in the box, he can score the goals. He scored one good goal. He could have scored other goals if only it was provided. But keeping looking at the fouls when you're 2-1 down. Some of those balls you are dribbling in areas you are not supposed to be dribbling. You look at the cases where you're supposed to have just putting the ball as it comes. Dalot has to take another touch, then hit the ball outside. You look at Ugarte can't play any progressive passes. All the time he gets the ball, he has to take 2-3 touches while he thinks of where to put the ball. By then, Brentford have already come back. They have already set their back line well. They have already defended their 10 men behind the ball because you can't make a quick decision as a midfielder. So Ugarte also was a 2/10. He had a very poor game, in my opinion, because he could have done better with the chances the balls that he got. He could have distributed them well. Dalot was also a 2/10. The first goal was because of him. The crosses, he didn't put in a good cross the whole game. It's unfortunate that Ahmad is dealing with bereavement, and our condolences go to him. But you look at the replacement. It's just unlucky that you are in this situation, because Dalot should never have be starting games for us. Mbeumo had a rough game back at Brentford. He went back to Brentford and he had a rough game, but still he was contributing. In fact, our goal couldn't have come about if not for him. He was very sly. He went on Kelleher, the goalkeeper, the Brentford goalkeeper, would have caught an easy ball, but Mbeumo bumped him. A very good thing as a striker to do, and Sesko got the chance out of it. It was a very good play. You look at that play; it was the one that brought about the goal. Cunha didn't also have a good game. Yes, he made some good dribbles. He was a very attacking player for us, but the final ball was just not good enough. There's an issue, but even though those final balls were not good enough, if we had 2 goals out of that game, because one of the goals we scored a good goal, the other goal could have been the penalty if Bruno had converted the goal, then you are looking at a draw or a win. But if the defense and the goalkeeping keeps making very stupid mistakes, what are the chances that you can win any game? Sesko had a 6 over 10, and I give him a 6 over 10 because he scored a good goal. And he made good work of the chances that came his way. He made a nuisance of himself. He was in the right position, and if he was applied better, he could have scored more. So he did his job. As a striker should, he scored his goal. And if the defense defend well, then we win that game. Mainoo also had a poor game when he came on. He lost the ball for the third goal. And I'm not giving him 3 over 10 because of losing the ball. I'm giving him 3 over 10 because of his work off the ball. There was enough time to get back. In fact, at some point, he just slowed down. If only he had made the run completely, that goal never comes along. You look at he keeps jogging, and these are the things you have to prove to the manager why he should start you. Why should the manager start you in every game? He should start you in every game because you are doing both jobs well. You are attacking well, but off the ball you are doing a good job. Ruben Amorim has stated before, Mainoo doesn't do enough off the ball. He doesn't recover quick enough, and that's one thing that works against him. And this was the game to show the manager. So these are two games now. There was the game against Grimsby. Mainoo and Ugarte started that game. There's this game that Mainoo has started, and he didn't do himself any justice in the time that he was there. It was 2-1. We were looking for a draw, at least a draw. He loses the ball. He doesn't run back quick enough to recover. The ball, it becomes a goal. Even though Bindi was at fault, the ball just went through the center. It might have been hit well enough, but you expect some goalkeeper to come up with some of the saves. I was just looking at the game against Crystal Palace. Alisson just made 3-4 saves within the first 20 minutes. Saves that keeps his team in the game. Bindi would have conceded 4 or 5 goals by then. It's just as a very bad case of the team not doing the job they're supposed to do. Euro and Mount, they didn't do much wrong, so I think it's a 5 over 10. That's an average. Zaxi wasn't in the pitch long enough to be rated, but there's something that is seriously a problem with this team, and it shows there's something wrong with the mentality of this team. The failure to win back-to-back games, even though you can blame the manager, but some of the mistakes that the players are making are just bad enough. Bruno also, I gave him a 3 over 10 because the penalty was costly. He didn't do any good in the game, not much in the game. He created a few chances, but those are two penalties lost in the last 3. And even though a penalty is never really guaranteed, but it's a chance that they should be putting away. I couldn't put the penalty on him, but it's also a reason why he's not leading well enough in the team. There was also one chance that he had to put in a good ball, but he overhit the ball. So there are those things that he's doing that he's not doing well enough. It might not be his error because he's being played deep in the 8 and he's a 10. So every time you're putting square pegs in round holes, they won't work. They won't work. Bruno is not an 8. And Bruno, every time he's played as an 8, he always wanders. And when he wanders, there are always going to be cases where they cut through the middle. You look at the game. If you look at the game, it looks like it was evenly matched. Brentford had 3 goals to our 1 goal. They had a 44% possession, which was favoring them because they hit us on the counter. So all they needed to do was to defend the game and then hit us on the counter, and they did that very well enough. We had most of the possession, but we didn't do anything with it. The passes completed, we had higher, so everything was in our favor except the important statistics. Because you look at this game, they had 10 shots to our 14 shots. They had 8 shots on target where we had 6 shots on target. So they were deserving of that win because they had more shots on target. We had even chances created, but they took their chances. They were very clinical with their chances. And when you're clinical with your chances, you score more goals. They had more touches in the opposition box, 23 touches in the opposition box. They had a game plan and it worked. There were obviously some of the people that were going to say the first case was a foul on Cunha, which there's a case for that because it could have been called as a foul. There's also a case of the red card. I insist that was supposed to be a red card. It was a denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity, and the player then made no attempt to play the ball. So when you make no attempt to play the ball, it was a red card. That's a different game from there on. So yes, the luck was not on our side on that case, but there are other issues that you have to look in this game and wonder what can we be doing better, because there are things that we can be doing better. We can be using the ball better, we can be passing better. The likes of the law have been in this club for far too long, and they keep making very stupid mistakes that are costing us games every game. You have not started for the last 2-3 games. You have your first game and you are the topic of discussion for the wrong reasons. It's just painful, and until these players are cut off the team, until the clear out is completed, this cannot be a case where we keep on speaking about the same issues. I think one of the issues that we need is we don't want to see Bainde anymore. I don't want to see Bainde anymore in goal. Let Lamens make his mistake as he learns. If he's good enough, then he'll be a long-term keeper. If not, then we go into January knowing we need a keeper. There have been cases where we want to sign Mainoo along other keepers that are experienced and who can do the job. Keepers who are good internationals that play for France that can do a good job. This was a very disappointing game. It's a sad week. We waited a whole week for just a poor performance. The manner in which we score the goals are considered against shows there's a very big problem with the mentality. Ruben Amorim alluded to it. He's also made some errors, because one of the cases is that you started Maguire in a high line. Yes, it worked because when it comes to defending, he was contributing, because Brentford were trying the long throws, the set pieces, everything. They were putting them in dangerous positions that Maguire and Dele were supposed to help us with. But then you play to their game. They want to hold the ball and then hit on the counter, look for set pieces. If they look one ball over the top, Maguire won't be able to get to it. So it's a very sad week for Man United fans. There's going to be a whole week of media bashing. There's always going to be a whole week of not knowing if you can win against Sunderland, because you can't be confident with this team. You can't be confident even in the worst, and Sunderland are not even the worst team in the league. They aren't. So you can't be confident of a win. This was supposed to be a building of momentum. 2 games, we win 2 games, and then from there on we know what to do. But it's going to be another tough week, and hopefully the management have to make a decision now, because it's getting to a point that the decision has to be made. We have to understand what can we do with this team. Is it a case where we have to do a proper clear out and remove the players that I just talked about, or is it a case that we have to change the manager? One thing has to give eventually. We just have to wait until see what the other week brings. Hopefully the next time we're speaking there's going to be some positivity. I'm not in a mood for positivity today, but it's a very disappointing case. I didn't think that this was the kind of review I was going to do. I said the Brentford game wasn't going to be an easy game, but I thought that there's a different mentality with this team, but it seems there's nothing that we gave them too much credit. So see you in the next one.